On the 1st of January 2021, the UK starts new trading relationships with the EU and various countries from around the world. From this date, how trade is done with the EU will change. Most of the actions that businesses and citizens are being asked to take will need to be completed by this date, irrespective of any trade negotiations, as the actions needed are largely the result of the UK leaving the EU Single Market and Customs Union at the end of 2020. As we will see, the actions that people and businesses are asked to take fall into three camps: travel, residency, and trade with the EU. We will very briefly point to help relating to travel and residency rights shortly, but the focus of the rest of the videos in this course is on the UK and EU guidance relating to trade. It's worth mentioning here that some areas of UK-wide guidance may not be applicable for trade between Northern Ireland and the European Union until negotiations have concluded with the EU. However, the UK government will provide businesses in Northern Ireland with updates. And we'll point to some updates, including one related to Northern Ireland, in a short while. But wherever you are, it may be worth your while signing up for updates anyway. And whether you are a business or individual, help can be found from here. www.gov.uk/transition. Scrolling down, we see Take Action. What action is that? Well, check, change, go. This is part of the UK's New Start, Let's Get Going public information campaign. And the Check, Change, Go strapline in these advertisements will direct people here to start a checker tool or wizard, which will help them identify the steps they need to take to prepare for the end of the transition period. And you can check for your list of actions, all of which will be tailored to your circumstances, from right here. As we are in a time of rapid change, you can also sign up for emails to get updates to these rules, as well as new information. That sounds like a good idea, don't you think? Yes. And all you have to do is click Start Now. And we will do that in just a short while. For now, let's load up with a bit more information. So, scrolling down. And you can view a short video right from here. Let's view the transcript. And the UK government has lots of information to help individuals and businesses navigate this historic transition period. Commonly, for individuals, information relates to residency rights. And indeed, for traders and businesses, we see now is the time to unleash the productive power of the UK. And that's nice. But what does that mean? As well as preparing people and businesses for the changes in 2021, there are opportunities ahead. Opportunities will be available for exporters via new free trade agreements. Also, small businesses will benefit from smarter regulation. We see here that the UK immigration system is being adapted to better suit the UK economy. And fishermen too will benefit as the UK takes back control of its coastal waters. And the UK government will promote these benefits in its campaign entitled The UK's New Start, Let's Get Going. Included in this campaign will be the Check, Change, Go caption, pointing people to the Start Now button we saw above, which provides help with regard to the actions needed to prepare for the end of the transition period. Earlier we mentioned that actions fall into three camps: travel, residency, and trade with the EU. And you can get more information on these matters by scrolling down a bit. So, scrolling down. And, still prior to the 1st of January 2020. Actions you can take now. And you can get more information about actions from here. As we mentioned earlier, these actions largely fall into three camps: travel, residency, and trade with the EU. And the first set of actions relate to travel to the EU, or travel to Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, or Liechtenstein. And this might involve ensuring you have comprehensive travel insurance, a valid passport, checking your roaming policy with your mobile phone provider, or contacting your vet at least 4 months in advance if taking your pet abroad, and more. If you are going to the European continent, get up to speed on travel issues right here. Other actions needed relate to residency. And residence actions fall into two categories. First category: staying in the UK. If you are an EU citizen, or from Switzerland, Norway, Iceland, or Liechtenstein, this link provides more information with regard to staying in the UK. The second residency category. This time for UK citizens, living and working in the EU. For UK nationals in the EU, the rules controlling how to continue living and working in the EU may vary by state, but such rules usually involve registering for residency, applying for healthcare, and having a driving license, if appropriate, and more. But you can check what you must do in order to continue residing in the EU country where you live, from here. And the last set of actions are related to trade with the EU. And businesses that import and export goods also need to take action. The UK will be outside the single market and outside the customs union, with the effect that the EU will enforce checks on any UK goods entering the Eurozone. Likewise, the UK will enforce its own rules on all goods entering the UK, including those goods from the EU. Policy easements for a no-deal exit will not be reintroduced. Registering with UK and EU customs authorities and obtaining EORI numbers will still be required. And we discuss EORI in later videos. But EU and UK traders should use the period leading up to the end of the transition period to prepare for having to submit customs declarations, or hire somebody to do this for them. To this end, finances for customs support funding was made available to the UK, with a sizable amount directed to Northern Ireland, for a new free-to-use trader support service, for technology, to ensure the new processes can be fully digital and streamlined, and for funding for the Peace Plus programme. And the UK government's campaign will also promote the Field Force team, providing one-to-one support in person or over the phone, to UK businesses and their supply chains, to minimise disruption to the movement of goods. So, from the 1st of January 2021, importers and exporters can expect their goods to undergo customs checks. But these new rules and controls do not just merely collect the right customs, VAT and excise duties. They are based on treating all traders as well as UK trading partners with fairness, whilst the UK government proceeds with implementing new trading arrangements with the EU and countries from around the world. On top of this, these rules and controls keep customs informed as to who's coming in, and how often, what they are bringing in, and why, so as to keep the UK and its borders safe and secure. So, scrolling down a bit further, and we see some announcements from February, July and August 2020. And these change regularly. But we see £650 million investment for Northern Ireland. And we've already touched on funding for Northern Ireland. And the UK's New Start, Let's Get Going public information campaign. This is the UK government's major new campaign to prepare the UK for the end of the transition period. And we've also touched on plans to introduce import controls. And, by all means, you can get more information about these topics from here. But we see a link to a policy paper related to the future relationship with the EU. We can open this. And we see many links. Many of which we see as draft versions. And we might have questions regarding the future relationship with the EU. Such as, what is the UK government striving to achieve with the EU? What sort of trading relationship might we possibly expect? Is there an announcement that nicely sums up the UK government's approach to the future relationship between the UK and EU? Yes. Jumping sideways. Well, there is this one from February 2020. Okay, great, let's take a look. And answers to these sorts of questions can be found here. But what exactly do we have here? A written statement to Parliament. The future relationship between the UK and the EU. This statement sets out the government's proposed approach to the negotiations with the EU about our future relationship. And further details on this and other trade negotiations will be made available to Parliament as the process develops. Okay. Scrolling down. And to start with, what is the UK government striving to achieve with the EU? We see a future relationship, based on friendly cooperation, between sovereign equals, for the benefit of all our peoples. That's nice. And with this in mind, the government will work hard to achieve a balanced agreement that is in the interests of both sides, reflecting the wide range of shared interests. As such, any agreement must respect the sovereignty of both parties and the autonomy of legal orders. Legal orders. What's that? These are official documents created to comply with legal requirements. This aspect of autonomy, in the relationship, removes the possibility of any regulatory alignment, including any jurisdiction for the Court of Justice of the European Union, CJEU, over the UK's laws. In other words, it removes the possibility of foreign or supra-national control over any area of UK sovereign policy, including the UK's borders and immigration policy. We might also ask, how good, or in other words, what type of trading relationship might we possibly expect? We see a Canada-type deal. The question for the rest of 2020 is whether the UK and the EU can agree a deeper trading relationship, on the lines of the free trade agreement the EU has with Canada. Or whether the relationship will be based simply on the withdrawal agreement deal, agreed in October 2019, including the protocol on Ireland/Northern Ireland. And I would have thought that, whatever type of deal is achieved, countries would always try to improve their deals as time goes by. But the UK will be leaving the EU at the end of this year, and stakeholders should prepare. Which areas might be covered by agreements signed with the EU? We see a suite of agreements. A comprehensive free trade agreement containing many elements. But also agreements covering fisheries and internal security. All this, together with a number of more technical agreements, covering areas such as aviation, civil nuclear cooperation, and others. And we'll take a quick scroll through the trade elements and other agreements momentarily. But we see all such agreements should all have governance and dispute settlement arrangements, as appropriate for sovereign equals. So, following this, which areas will the UK take back and put under sovereign control? We see the UK will in future develop separate and independent policies in areas such as, but not limited to, the points-based immigration system, competition and subsidy policy, the environment, social policy, procurement, and data protection, all the while maintaining high standards. What about good old cooperation? Other areas might be informed just by cooperation with the EU and other countries. We see foreign affairs and Cooperation on foreign affairs and related issues is of course likely to be substantial, but does not in itself require a joint institutional framework. And what about Switzerland, Norway, Iceland or Liechtenstein? The UK proposes to agree similar arrangements with these EFTA states. What about other countries, under the UK umbrella? Will they be affected? In its negotiations with the EU, the government will be acting on behalf of the UK Crown dependencies and overseas territories, the whole UK family. And that's nice. And there's more. Scrolling down, and pause where you like. We see some brief notes here. Notes on the elements of a trade agreement. National treatment and market access for goods. Striving for no tariffs, fees, charges, or quantitative restrictions between the UK and EU. Trade remedies, scrolling down. Provisions to address technical barriers to trade. Customs and trade facilitation to smooth trade between the EU and UK. And all this followed by notes on fisheries, cooperation on security, as well as other areas of cooperation, given below that. And I encourage you to review this at your leisure. Okay, great. Let's give the Check Change Go wizard a trial run, next. We'll leave here and jump back up to Take Action. Check Change Go. Right. Date check, August 2020. And we want to see how easy it is to use this checker tool. So, start now. Nationality. British. But, just for demo purposes, let's say another EU country, or Switzerland, Norway, Iceland or Liechtenstein. Continue. Where do you live? UK. Continue. What do you do? Work in the UK. And scroll down, and continue. Do you travel to the EU for business? This also includes Switzerland, Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein. It does not include travel to Ireland. Business travel includes activities such as traveling for meetings and conferences, providing services, and touring art or music. Why am I being asked this question? From the 1st of January, 2021, the rules for business travel to the EU will change. We need to know if you travel to the EU for business, so we can show you what you need to do before you travel. Okay. No. Continue. Where do you plan to travel for leisure and tourism? Select all that apply. If you do not plan to travel, select Continue. Why am I being asked this question? From the 1st of January, 2021, the rules for traveling abroad will change. We need to know where you plan to go so we can show you what you need to do before you travel. Let's tick. To another EU country, or Switzerland, Norway, Iceland or Liechtenstein. Just to see what happens. And continue. Do I plan to do either of the following when traveling? Okay, let's tick both for this demo. Why am I being asked this question? Rules for driving and taking pets abroad are changing, etc. Great. Okay. Continue. Do you own or help to run a business or organization? Let's say yes. Continue. Where is your business or organization registered? UK. Continue. Do you employ anyone from another European country? And just for argument's sake, let's say yes. Continue. Do you exchange personal data with another organization in Europe? This includes organizations located in the EU, Norway, Iceland and Liechtenstein. Personal data includes customers' addresses, staff working hours, or information you give to a delivery company. If you choose yes, these are the options you can select. Processing personal data from Europe. Using websites or services hosted in Europe. Providing digital services available to Europe. But I'll choose no. Continue. Do you plan to apply for EU funding? This includes funding like Horizon 2020. No. Continue. Do you sell your products or services to the UK public sector? This includes non-government organizations, such as hospitals and schools, as well as central or local government organizations. No. Continue. Do you use or rely on intellectual property, IP, protection? Intellectual property protection includes copyright, trademarks and patents. I want to find out more about this. So let's say yes. Okay, select all that apply. I'll choose copyright. Continue. Do you run a website with a .eu domain? No. Continue. Does your business or organization do any of the following? Importing and exporting includes temporarily taking goods across the EU border, for example to a trade fair. Select all that apply. And why not choose import from the EU? Export to the EU. Transport goods across EU borders. Export to the rest of the world. And trade with developing countries. Continue. What does your business or organization do? Looking at the options, scrolling down. 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 Keep going. We are not manufacturing, mining, scroll down. We will stick with yes. Retail. Retail and wholesale, excluding food, drink and motors. Let's tick that. Okay, scroll down and click continue. And here we are. How to get ready for new rules in 2021, your results. Fab. And here is where we can subscribe for email updates, telling us about changes that may affect family or business. Under your business or organization, we see a list of actions given here, in bold, with links to more information. And, in general, these relate to new rules on overseas trade and work-related travel, taking effect from the end of the transition period. More specifically, these actions relate to the needs of my business, involving trade with the EU, as well as trade with the rest of the world. Also, employee issues, as well as work-related travel to and from Europe. These actions and links, listed here, are given, because I gave this particular set of responses, in the questionnaire. And scrolling down, we see. The actions relate to tariffs, visas, work permits and professional requirements, rules, taxes, duties, customs declarations, EOI numbers, exporting, importing, common transit, copyright, documents for hauliers, disclosing designs, rules for trade in chemicals, trading with other third countries, permits for endangered animals, unfair trade and trade remedies, employees and the EU settlement schemes. And that's great. And next. Scrolling down. And we see a second listing, under you and your family. And we see that this list is split into 3 sections. Visiting the EU, visiting Ireland, and living in the UK. Under visiting the EU, the actions deal with pets, mobile phones, international driving permits, a GB sticker, and moving down. Visiting Ireland. We see pets and mobile phones appears again. And lastly, living in the UK. Actions here relate to completing the EU settlement scheme. And I got this, we see, because I said I was an EU national living in the UK. In the same way, each of these sections are the result of very particular responses I gave in the questionnaire, meaning that the actions given are crafted to my specified need. So, in this demonstration, under you and your family, plenty of links, plenty of actions, relating to travel and residency. And a button down here to sign up for updates too. It's also worth noting that, depending on your responses to the questionnaire, your results may well differ from that shown in this video. So, potentially a lot of stuff to be done. And if you actually need to do any of that, then better get a move on. And if you haven't tried the Check Change Go wizard, then by all means, give it a go. Give it a go, now. It's a very slick and robust tool to help you prepare for the end of the transition period. In any case, I hope you found this video informative, enjoyable even. The rest of the videos in this particular course explore HMRC and EU sources related to trade. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully catch up in another Tools Club video.